In the mind.
Alright, I'm going to do a tribute to past gear video here. We got pretty much stuff I've retired at this point, some better than others. You have these Cortex Scarab. What does it say? I have no idea what the hell this is. Oh, winter. I believe, yeah, these are the Cortex Scarab gloves. Absolute shit. They weren't bad, but I think the main problem was they were sized wrong. The size that I was told was going to be so I was told basically a medium would fit me, and these are a medium, and they did fit, but they were like right at the tight point, so they fit good, and I can kind of feel what I was doing with the controls and stuff. But they had problems. Stitching came apart on them real quick. I mean, these are hardly used. I barely ever used these things, just because they were more inconvenient to use than anything. Armor-wise, they were great gloves. You know, plenty of little impact-resistant things here and there. Nice gauntlet style. The gauntlet was kind of short, so it was on certain jackets. It just ended up being more inconvenient than anything. But the double style gauntlet was pretty nice. I don't remember how much I paid for these. It was somewhere sub 100. I ended up, because I didn't use them anymore because they were just they sucked to wear. My hands ended up freezing anyways. They probably, anything below 50 degrees, these things were useless, and you know, that's when you actually need a pair of winter gloves to work. There was this liner on the inside, and that was the biggest problem I had, is the liner would pull back out every time I pulled my hands out. And that was just sucked, because you try to jam your fingers back in there to get the glove back on. When I took it apart, I pulled the liner out, and there was this, I'm assuming it was supposed to be some kind of like waterproof liner. If I search hard enough, I might be able to find the picture, and I'll just overlay it. But when I pulled the liner out, the liner itself was like easily 3 times bigger than the glove, and that was getting bunched up in there too. And they weren't waterproof. So I don't know what that liner was supposed to do. It was, I think it was supposed to be for waterproofing, but it didn't do it, because if it rained, these things would soak right through. Good looking glove. I imagine a large might have worked better, but they weren't warm enough. Especially, you know, being whenever we ride all year round, so durability, it would not last for, I don't think it'd last for an entire season, or entire winter season. It might, not for everyday use, so and it wasn't warm enough. 30-degree weather, you were freezing. So that was garbage. And yeah, these are here with my summer gloves. I do not know the name of them. I know they were Bell. That was the brand. And the label's so washed off. It says 100% leather, 10% spandex on the vacuum, blah blah blah. Good gloves. Cheaper impact resistance, just like little foam in the knuckles. You know, this is a little bit more, a little more sturdy here. It kind of still feels like a foam or like a rubber. I might rip it apart one of these days to find out. A little bit of here and there. Leather glove though, felt good. Got a little warm in the summer, but they weren't too bad. But I think I paid like less than $15 for these gloves, and they were awesome. They lasted. I think I bought them back in 2009. And they finally pretty much were just crap. After Deal's Gap in 2011, they were tearing through, and the other glove, one of these pieces in the knuckle had shifted over, and that's like almost everyday use for close to for 2 years. So it's a pretty durable glove. I don't think they make it anymore because I can't find it anymore. And the one that you find at Walmart now, that's the Bell brand, is just crap, especially compared to this one. I have to look to see if I can find them again. You got my last helmet. This was given to me by I'm gonna call him Sir Wilkie. He had won it in some kind of contest. He said he like wore it once or twice, and he didn't really like how it fit him. G-Max is sized a little bit different than other helmets. Like an HJC, I wear a medium, and in this G-Max I wear a large. This thing has seen better days. This thing's beat to shit. When he gave it to me, it was basically it was brand new. It had a clear visor and a tinted visor that he sent with it, and it came with the case. So it was you can't get any better than that. I was looking at getting the snowmobile version, which is this is the 68S G-Max, and I believe the 68SM I think is what the other one is. I'm not really sure. I'll correct myself. It was time for it to be retired. Cheek pads obviously were ripping apart. I think he gave this to me the beginning of 2011 or right at the end of 2010. Yeah, because I think I was coming up on the winter season 2010, so I was looking for one, and that's when he gave it to me. Did awesome though. There's usually this very large plastic scoop that sits up here that kind of catches the air. It has a vent here, here, and here that it would catch, and there was two here in the back that would basically help airflow pull and shove in. Then in the very back there was a little piece that sat here that you'd put one or two AAA batteries, and it would flash. You could either have a solid red or it'd flash. I'm trying to remember. There's like 2 or 3 different little sequences it did. I used it a couple times. I didn't notice anybody noticing me any better, but it's a cool little feature. Then I bought this visor. Awesome visor. So I pop this thing off. Not actually, because it's bolted in here. It's gonna pop off. You have clear visor, and it has a double shield on it, so it made it completely anti-fog, and it didn't mess with the view at all. You could see just fine with it until, you probably can't see that very well, but until the inside part broke. I'm assuming it was whenever it fell and it broke this piece, it broke that as well. And the way I realized that it was broken is I'm riding in really heavy rain, and this thing was filling up. I was basically like a fish. The thing filled up to the top with water, and I was like, see, it was water sloshing around in front of me. Then I'm probably going to find a way to reuse this on another helmet just because I love it. I heard complaints about it doesn't block enough, but I mean, realistically, to be able to flip it up at any point in time, like if you like going through a tunnel or something, and compared to having sunglasses on, it worked really good. Nice and dark, but it still let in just enough light. And obviously that part handled pretty well, and it's just a bolt-on. I think it was like somewhere between $15 and $30 for that attachment. I recommend it. It would be nicer if it did stretch down a little bit more, but there's it's better than having a pair of sunglasses and having to take them off as you're riding. Trying to think what else I could say about this helmet. Lasted pretty good. It dropped several times and the plastic busted off of it. I beat the shit out of this helmet. Like I said, the cheek pads they're gone. Trying to think if there's anything about this thing. The chin strap on this thing, it compared to like I don't know, HJC feels like it goes more towards your chin, whereas this feels like it goes a little bit more on your neck. It takes a little while to get used to. This like G-Max has a different fitting on that strap and on the helmets. But I like G-Max and HJC because they have very large viewports, so you can see a lot more than with like I had like an HRC helmet, which was you know, much narrower of a view, and I like being able to see everything. That's pretty much that for this one, and that's this video. You know, this is my old retired gear. Some better than others.